Hi, so for this assessment, mathematics in the workplace, I chose to pick Notorious Burgers as my chosen workplace. And so Notorious Burgers is just a small business in my local area, and I got to visit the place and got to interview the manager. So it's just a background. I got to interview Sarah, who is currently the manager of Notorious Burgers. She said that it opened in 2016 in Caroline Springs, and it is inspired by rappers and notorious people in history, such as Ned Kelly, and have named their products specifically burgers after them. So as I went in the shop, basically, it was very unique, and it had a lot of pictures of notorious people, and yeah, it was very interesting to see. She also said that the burger shop provides a variety of menus offered to their customers, including loaded chips, chicken, milkshakes, and burgers, to which they are known for. They order their meat and burger buns fresh every day from the local butcher and bakery. The business also orders raw ingredients and creates their own recipes from scratch, which is quite interesting as well. So, the mathematics associated with Notorious Burgers, I thought that the amount of ingredients, such as patties, buns, sauces, chips, chicken, milk, anything that they need for the business to run, basically, they need to take that into consideration and to ensure that there's enough during the day or during the week to cater for all the customers. Obviously, when customers come in, you don't know how many would come in, so you need to ensure that and to estimate that there's enough for the day. Budgeting expenses, including ingredients, like these ingredients are very much important as well. Paying employees, so that plays an important role because they're the ones that basically help run the business. The cost of other utilities, such as their electricity, so the lights, the freezer, the the bain marie, microwave, um, also the rent. They have to take that into consideration. Another maths that's associated with this business is ensuring that there's profit being made. This is where pricing their products comes in and ensuring that there's no wastes. Estimating and predicting the amount of customers, so that's part of probability, also plays an important role. Measurement, so weighing the ingredients, ensuring that there's the right amount of each to make a sauce, or yeah, that plays an important role as well. And of course, money and financial mathematics. So basically, employees must have knowledge in money, because especially the person handling the cashier, because that's how they know that they're giving the right change and they're getting paid right. So the interview questions I chose to ask, and the ones I made, includes how many patties and buns needs to be delivered per day. So obviously there's a difference from weekdays and weekends to make sure that there's enough for the day. How much sauce needs to be made per day, what are the different sauces and how are they measured, how many different burgers are on the menu and which is the most popular, what is your target sales per week to cover for all expenses, including employees and stock, how many burgers need to be sold to make profit and how does this affect your pricing strategies, where do you get your ingredients and how do you budget your money to ensure profit is made. So I believe that these questions really target what I want to know from the business in regards to maths. So the first question I asked was, yeah, how many patties and buns needs to be delivered per day, varying from weekdays and weekend, to make sure that there's enough for the day. So Sarah said that they usually order beef patties During Monday and Thursday, about 90 to 120 because those are the non-busiest days. And then from Friday to Sunday, they order a bit more, so about 180 to 230 patties. The burger buns, same thing. Monday to Thursday, they order 120. Friday to Sunday, 230. The next question I asked is how much sauce needs to be made per day? What are the different sauces and how are they measured? So the basic sauce is made every 3 days. So about 20 liters. So there's a notorious garlic aioli, chipotle. House-made sauces include Mexican sauce, cheese sauce, sweet chili, gravy, and the barbecue. So there's about 30 liters, and they make it every 5 days. Depends how busy it is, and other sauces that they buy from the local shop, which is the mayonnaise and the sriracha. So, how many different burgers are on the menu, and which is the most popular? So I got a photo from their Instagram, but she also showed me one when I went in. So basically, there are 11 burgers on the menu. The Big Smack and the Albacone are the most popular. So that's what people like the most. What is your target sales per week to cover for all expenses, including employees and stock? So what they buy and basically ingredients and buns and patties and other things. So target sales during Monday to Thursday is about $2,000. Friday to Sunday is $3,500 is a target sale. How many burgers need to be sold to make profit, and how does this affect your pricing strategy? So basically, they need to sell about 150 burgers, depending on which burger it is, obviously, during Monday and Thursday, and at least 250 on Friday to Sunday to ensure profit is being made. She also mentioned that their pricing has decreased by 50 cents to $1 and has shown an increase in sales since 2017. Basically, because they decreased the price, there are more people coming in, more people buying from them. She also told me that the weather has also impacted sales. So there are more people during warm days and cold days, like during winter now. Well, during winter, there wasn't much people, but last summer there was a lot. People like to go out more and like to eat out. So yeah, that affects the sales. Where do you get your ingredients and how do you budget your money to ensure profit is made? So she told me that their ingredients are sourced locally. So the vegetables, they get it from the local fruit shop in the center near the business. They order the meat and chicken from the local butcher. So they also do it halal. Their frozen stock, which includes other products such as chips and onion rings, and yeah, basically they get it delivered from a company called Delray, so they have their own supplier, which is probably a lot cheaper than buying it from the shop because they're going straight to the supplier. Their delicacy items such as cheese sticks, churros, and dago dogs, they also get it from a supplier called Keats Foods. Budgeting, she mentioned that they try to minimize as much stuff as possible on days that aren't busy, so such as Monday or Thursday, and they also prepare less on days that aren't busy. So they lessen their ingredients, so like sauces, they would make less during days that aren't busy. This avoids the waste. So, having interviewed Sarah, I got answers from the questions I made, and it gave me a lot of insight about how maths is involved in Notorious Burgers. So I thought of a question that would use that information and be able to create a worded problem that would enable mathematical thinking. So the question that I thought of was so I said Jack and Jill decide to come into Notorious Burgers and order 2 burgers, one each. Which 2 burger combinations would cost them cheaper? Which would be most expensive? List all the possibilities. Note, they both want different burgers, not the same. So basically, this question talks about, kind of talks about probability and noticing pattern. So if I was able to give this to students, it would help them think about probability, because it basically talks about theoretical probability or experimental. But since the strategy I used involves looking for all the combinations, it's a theoretical probability that was used. So yeah, basically I listed all the burgers and their prices, and the strategy I used is creating a table. So basically on the top um, column, I wrote down all the burgers and their prices, and then in the going down the rows, I wrote the same thing. So they would basically meet up and give me the total for adding 2 burgers. So as I mentioned in my question, the 2 burgers cannot be the same, so it can't be a little cheese and a little cheese that makes the cheapest burger. So they can't order the same thing. This makes it a bit difficult if it was for children about grade 5 to 6. It would challenge them to think about and pick different ones and not just find the lowest number. They would actually have to look, which is probably the second lowest or the third, depending on which one it is. So yeah, basically I just drew out a table and circled the ones that are low and the ones that are most expensive. So obviously the most expensive ones would be beneficial for the business, and the lowest ones would be best for the customers since it's cheaper. So he gave me the answers. So the cheapest ones would be a little cheese and a single cheesy, which gave $17. So if they both got those burgers, that would give them the cheapest choice. And then the most expensive had a variety of combinations. So the Big Smack, which is the most expensive burger, was $15. With a double Albuquerque would be $14, which gives them $29. Same with the Big Smack and the OG, same price, and the Big Smack and the Mary Jane. So the most expensive ones, they have more variety, so meaning they're more expensive burgers to be combined together. Another strategy that children would do if they were able to think is just basically pick out the most expensive burgers and just basically make a combination out of those, and pick out the cheapest burgers and make a combination out of those. That'll probably be a shortcut in finding the answer. So yeah, basically having those combinations in the most expensive would give you the top picks for most expensive, and the cheapest one would give you the cheapest burgers, which is basically just 2 burgers. For this question, I also tried to extend it, meaning putting more limitations, allowing if it was given to children about grade 5 and 6s, it allows them to think more and to use the information such as the table, use that and then answer a different question. So as an extended, I use if Jack wants a burger with double patties and Jill wants a spicy burger, how would the burger combinations change? So this extended questions allows children to analyze the information, such as, for example, they will be given a menu where they will see what's in the burgers and whether it's a double patty or it has like for example jalapenos or sriracha, which are spicy sauces that would be put in the burger, which would help them decide which burgers to put and to pick. So through this extended question, children are able to just extend their thinking and be able to apply that reasoning and analyzing skills for mathematics. Yep. So then obviously that question could further be extended into something more difficult, such as, for example, one of them doesn't want a burger with tomatoes, or one of them doesn't want cheese, obviously without taking them off. So that means they have to pick another burger and find other combinations and use the table that they have created with all the possibilities. Another question I thought of is involved in using the target sales. So this is the question I made. If the target sales during Monday to Thursday is about $2,000, how many burgers must be sold during these days? The Albuquerque and the Big Smack, which are the most popular, make up half of the sales. The OG, Mary Jane, and chicken burgers are least popular during these days. And almost a quarter of the customers would order double patties. How many burgers must be sold to make $2,000? So yeah, using these questions, I created a question that involves fractions. So using the $2,000, they have to, which is half of that is Albuquerque and the Big Smack. So that's giving students information about where to start and how to approach this question. So yeah, what I did was, obviously it states that half of the sales, which is already $1,000, would be dedicated to Albuquerques and Big Smacks. So what I did was I halved that, which gave me $500 divided by 12. So $500 divided by 12, which is the price, gave me 41.66. Obviously, that's not an exact number, so I had to round it off to 41 because we're talking about burgers, so it's not like a continuous thing that you can round up because it's an item. Also, the Big Smack got 33.3. 500 divided by 15 gave me 33 burgers. So I added these two and it gave me 74 burgers approximately. That's already half of the sales. The other half, so the leftover $1,000, is I sort of had to figure it out. So it says in the question that the OG Mary Jane and chicken burgers are least popular, meaning I cannot use those burgers as part of this because they weren't bought during these days. So I kind of put that in to lessen the amount that I would need to calculate. So, and almost a quarter of the customers would order double patties. So $1,000 would be a quarter of that, which is $250, would order double patties. So what I did is I just wrote down, depending on the prices bought on that day, will determine the number. So what an example of a combination I used is 13 times 15, which is $13 burgers, either the Hot Pursuit, Texas Ranger, with the Mexico Loco, either of those three, times 15 would give me 195. So 15 is, 555, let's say, for the three different burgers. That gave me $55 left over to make the 250. So 14 times 3, which is $42. So as I've written, those are the different combinations. So for example, the OG Albuquerque and an OG, basically those gave me $42. And then there was a leftover of $13, so that's another burger for $13. Therefore, there's $750 left. From that $750, obviously, the single patties would come in. So that would be either the Albacore, Texas Ranger, Hot Pursuit, or the Mexico logo. So one combination I did was $300. I just picked a random number, and then I did divided by 12, which is the cost of an Albacore, which gave me $25. Now to make the 750, I used 450 divided by 11.5, which gave me 39. So I added those two, gave me 64. So therefore, approximately there's 157 must be sold to make about $3,000 sales. Now, before Sarah told me that they need to make about 150 to cover for all expenses. So basically, this answer confirms that interview. Well, the question that I asked her, how much must be sold to be able to make profit? So basically, yeah, it just confirms that they need to make that amount to be able to make profit for the business. They should also take into consideration the more expensive the burgers are bought, so the more customers that buy is expensive burgers, the less burgers are sold because it takes more of the money. So out of the 2,000, and then since the burgers were bought more expensive, also the cheaper burgers are sold, the higher the number of burgers would be sold to make the target sale. So therefore, the cheaper the burger that are sold, the number of burgers would be higher, but they basically equal the same thing because they're just making up for the sales. Now, I'm gonna talk about my own reflections. This is just a photo of the front of Notorious Burgers. I also got it from their Instagram page, which is more clearer from my photos. So one of the reflections questions was, were there any use of mathematics that you hadn't considered in your initial list? Were any of the uses surprising or unusual? I think I didn't mention the season, so like the weather, like winter, summer. I didn't mention that affects sales, but obviously I realized that it affects it a lot, as Sarah has mentioned that there's not much people during winter. Also, the timing. So time plays an important role as well. And timing. So probability, like talking about people and how much people come in during the day, and yeah, considering time. So like how long it takes them to make the burgers, and making sure that the food doesn't go off. So another one would be, were there any uses of mathematics that you predicted that weren't in the workplace? No, ideally I thought that prices went up to increase sales, but surprisingly when they would decrease their prices, sales gradually went up. How has technology impacted the use of mathematics in the workplace? So technology plays an important role because obviously orders are taken on the computer. It's more efficient rather than during the olden days they kind of write it down on paper, and yeah, basically it's just more efficient. The receipts are printed for the orders. So for example, receipts get printed and then the people on making the burgers know what to make because basically it's already printed for them. Then the person in the cashier doesn't have to write it down. And then people can also order online, or they can call in, which is also a part of technology. What have you learned or discovered about the utility of mathematics in society? So basically, I've learned that Mathematics is everywhere. It is connected to real life experiences, and yeah, we just need it as part of our lives, and we don't even realize that it's there. I also thought that it enables businesses to run, especially the financial aspect of running a business. Basically, money is plays an important role, and money involves maths. It involves counting. It involves yeah, just giving the right change or getting paid right. Um, I also realized that successful businesses connects to having mathematical knowledge and being able to apply it. So that's very important for employees that they have the right mathematical knowledge to be able to apply the work and do the work properly for the business to run. So in Notorious Burgers, making ingredients, using measurements, rostering staff, finding the best possibility that won't cost the business much, and being able to budget money in certain situations, if certain situations arise. So um, just yeah, basically being able to act on your feet if something comes up plays an important role. And the last question is, to what extent has mathematical knowledge contributed to this person? So contributing meaningfully to society. Sorry. As a manager, Sarah is actively involved in using her mathematical skills in the workplace. She's responsible for ordering ingredients when she's on shift, cashier, team management, so delegating jobs, problem solving, and determining customers. So basically probability. So all those things that she's doing and that she's responsible for involves mathematical thinking, some sort of mathematical thinking, especially problem solving. That's part of maths. And yeah, basically, maths plays an maths maths plays an important role in all of our lives. And as teachers, we need to be able to help students develop mathematical thinking. And I believe that through the questions, the problem solving questions, I was able um, to analyze and explore what aspects of maths are being used in Notorious Burgers. And yeah, thanks.